Hi, and welcome back to Football Made Simple.
Arsenal continued to make steady progress under Mikel Arteta and came agonizingly close to Champions League qualification last season. And one of the reasons they may have missed out is the lack of a prolific forward, with Saka, Smith Rowe and Odegaard being their top scorers, and none of their recognised forwards going into the double digits. So it makes sense that the club is heavily linked to Gabriel Jesus of Manchester City, who is on the market. But what exactly would he bring to the side? Let's take a look. At 25, Jesus is the perfect age profile for Arteta. He's still young enough to be malleable and develop his game further, but at the same time, he has plenty of experience on the bigger stages. A great trait of Jesus is his flexibility. Throughout his Manchester City career, he has had plenty of experience playing on either flank, although he has mainly been a solo forward, but at times showed he was able to play in a two with Aguero. And when in possession, he has many of the traits that Arteta loves. This season, Arteta used Lacazette as a facilitator who dropped deep to create space for others. Jesus is also perfectly comfortable dropping deeper into the midfield to be an extra option when necessary. So, he was the target of a pass more often than 86% of forwards last season, as he always provides an option. But it should be noted when hearing these stats that City are an extremely high possession side, so a forward's stats can be boosted to be higher than usual. But nonetheless, Jesus' linker play is excellent, knowing when to lay it off first time, and when he has the time to take a touch, to turn and play others in higher up the pitch, as he has more progressive passes than most forwards. But what makes Jesus difficult to deal with in these scenarios is that whilst he's happy to drop deep, if the centre-backs push up high to deal with this, he often looks to make runs in behind, often into the channels, leading to many promising situations. Alternatively, by spending so much time on the defender's shoulder, he can push the backline deeper. At City, this would give the likes of De Bruyne and Gundogan space to operate between the lines, whilst at Arsenal, this would give presumably Vieira, and even more crucially, Odegaard more space between the lines to operate in game-changing situations to then potentially play Jesus in. And up front, he's also accustomed to playing in the front five system that Arteta attacks in, and knows what it's like to come up against deep blocks. Jesus has an incredibly tight first touch, meaning he's great at receiving in these tight spaces, and combining with teammates here. As a result, his key passes are more than 89% of forwards, and his 3.35 shot creating actions are more than 91% of forwards. But Jesus is also quick to get into goal scoring positions in the box, able to operate either between the centre-backs or making runs to the far post. Either way, by being generally on the blind side of defenders when the ball arrives, he's usually in a high percentage scoring situation. As a result, in general, most of his shots come from inside the box, which is ideal. But here is where we come to a distinct weakness of Jesus' game. He's great at getting into goal scoring positions, with his 0.44 non-penalty expected goals per game being more than 81% of forwards. However, so far in the Premier League, he has been a below average finisher. In fact, he has underperformed his expected goals in every single season, with the 18-19 and 19-20 seasons being exceptionally poor. So, this is an area that would need major improvement. But Jesus is also a great dribbler, and this is usually on display out wide. When he receives deep, he's able to carry the ball up the pitch effortlessly to move the team higher up, with more carries than most forwards. And while he may not have the highest quantity of dribbles, his 68% success rate puts him ahead of 98% of wingers. His creative passing is still at a great level even for a winger, with his 0.23 expected assists per 90 being more than 75% of wingers. Jesus is an excellent inside forward as a result, and Arteta could use him from wide regions alongside Nketiah in the front five attack. Defensively, Jesus is a manager's dream. He's tactically aware in knowing when to sit off, but more importantly is an incredibly hard worker looking to press at every opportunity in line with Pep's system. And while on paper, his pressing numbers are low, this is almost completely because City have so much of the ball, so they don't have as many opportunities to press. City are currently playing hardball on the transfer fee, but this signing looks like a real possibility, and if it does go through, it will push Arsenal that much closer to being a regular Champions League side yet again. But what do you think of this potential signing? Drop it down below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, you might enjoy the content available on my Patreon. Not only does Patreon help to support the continued production of content, as I am a one-man team, but it also gives you early access to videos that will come on the channel. You'll also get exclusive videos, get to vote on polls, and so much more. And it's cheaper than ever, no longer having a tier system, so everyone on the Patreon gets access to all the content. So head over to patreon.com/footballmadesimple to check it out. And a special thanks to my latest patrons, including Some Random Guy 7, Brian Liddell, and Kevin Gonzalez.
But that's all for today, and remember, keep it simple.